Really, really cool story here. A 50-year-old love story. A ride on a scooter, a 58 Lambretta 150cc scooter from Ontario through the States, through Mexico, to Peru. And the man who did it met a beautiful woman and fell in love. And he wrote a lot about that trip, and he wrote it down, and his son wrote a book about it, and the book is called The Scooter Diaries, and it's an Ottawa guy named Gordon Bowman, who we had a chance to sit down and chat with, and he told us about the book and the story, and what was most surprising of all, probably.
Well, I think the most exciting thing was just the very existence of it, really. I didn't know that he had written about this. I had been telling him for 45 years. Well, not 45 years. I mean, from my birth until just before he died, I had been telling him, you should write these stories down, and I didn't know that he had until after his death.
Are you ruining it if you tell me if he got to Peru?
No, he got to Peru.
Okay,
that was the goal, and he did make it there.
I didn't want to blow the ending on this.
and he did this on a scooter. Like I don't even really know what a scooter is.
Well, it's 150 cc's. It was a Lambretta scooter, which was pretty popular back then.
Right.
Main competitor to Vespa.
Little tiny tires.
Little tiny tires. Probably couldn't go more than 80 kilometers an hour.
Right.
But this was the LD, which was the luxury model. Right? But it had a passenger seat.
Yeah.
But you really weren't expected to go very far on these things, and certainly not with a whole lot of luggage. The idea of taking a little scooter like this all the way down to Peru is kind of insane. I don't think anyone's ever done this before or after.
Yeah. I'd love somebody to try and do this now. They make some pretty cool little scooters.
The politics to do it now. Although I guess probably haven't changed all that much in a weird sort of way since then.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's it would be dangerous to do it today, but it was dangerous back then too. Every time has its dangers, right? I mean, I remember they weren't going through Colombia, they said, and they thought, they felt so safe because all the truckers would always stop and say, are you guys okay? Everything fine?
Right.
They found out afterwards it was because all the truckers had been killed so often by bandits coming down the hills that they had all taken to carrying machine guns in their trucks and stopping to always make sure people are okay. So
Wow.
Ignorance was bliss for them, right? They had no idea how much danger they were in there.
Well, just to think, 1959, the Cuban Revolution happened. It was pretty heady times in that area of the world.
Yeah, they on their way back, they stopped off in Cuba, and they were one of the few people there. All the Americans didn't want to stop there.
Right.
And all they could hear everywhere they went was, Americanos, Americanos.
Wow.
Once they finally got tired of it in a restaurant, and my dad stood up and said, for your information, we're not Americans, we're Canadians. And then all of a sudden everyone went, oh, Canadienses! And they were patting him on the back and giving him drinks. And he said, hey, how come you didn't like us when you thought we were Americans, but it's, now we're best friends?
Yeah.
And they said, oh, but senor, you too are oppressed by the Americans, no?
So was this like the honeymoon for your parents?
It was. I mean, it was supposed to just be a trip that my dad had planned. He had this crazy idea. He'd quit his job, buy the scooter, and do this trip. And then 3 weeks before the trip, he met my mom on a blind date. And I guess I had this whirlwind romance. And then, it was too late to back out of the trip, though. But he was wondering, gosh, should I really do this? I mean, I just met the woman of my dreams.
Yeah.
Is she going to be available in a year? So about 3 weeks into the trip, he proposed to her, sent her a letter, asked her to marry him. And she said yes after only 3 weeks. And she flew down to Mexico City. They got married. And then they continued on the scooter together.
Isn't that amazing? Okay, so where's the scooter now? Do you know where it is?
I do. It's still in the family. My cousin Fred has it. He lives down in North Gore. And in fact, he's been restoring it, and it's almost ready to be restored. There's actually a big Lambretta scooter rally in Boston this summer, and he's gonna be there with the scooter. And my mom is actually going to be there writing the rewriting all the countries on the front.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks great.
Yeah, so it got repainted in the 70s, and now so she's going to try and put it back to the original look.
That's very cool. It's too bad the company went out of business. They would love this story.
I think so too. I tried to get them interested, but no, I mean, they kind of are slightly in business, but they don't make scooters anymore yet.
Right. That's Gordon Bowman there, the author of The Scooter Diaries. It is a really, really cool story. And who knew that Fred's got the scooter in North Gore?
My cousin Fred. I love that.
Shout out to Fred in the Gore this morning. You can, what's great about this too is it's a Kickstarter, published via Kickstarter. So That's pretty neat. And there's a link there if you do a search for Kickstarter and then the ScooterDiaries.com.
And the book is really cool. It has all the pictures from his dad that his dad took, and it's just a great little book.
Yep, fantastic. And the fact that it's an Ottawa guy, I think is pretty cool.